Oof, Halo Reach, ya nasty. A weird game in my opinion, huge package, some really great things about it, but in general, I've not really been a fan of its multiplayer in the past. But one shining game mode, which I absolutely adore, is Invasion. On the surface, you might think it's basic. Push the enemy team back, steal their swag, peg it to your Phantom before the enemy's Scorpion tears you a new one. But you'd be wrong, my friend. Also wrong. So today let's break down some naughty tips and tricks that can make you an absolute boss in Halo Reach's Invasion.
Ultimate Halo.
Hey up lads, Fletch here from Ultimate Halo. So today my first tip is so simple, you'll be surprised when playing online how little people think about it. Kinda pisses me off if I'm honest with you. It's easy for you to simply push forward and trying to break down the enemy's defences. You might be giving them a good run for their money, but in all reality, let's think about it. If you're going to be dropping off in numbers close to the proximity, which is around their spawn area, I think it's very likely you're going to be picked off by the last man standing. So don't be afraid to just drop off into a safer area. What you need to remember is that in Halo Reach there are normally 2 to 3 spawn options. One at the far base, one at the mid base if it's being unlocked, and the other can be on your squad mate, which is set in pairs at the start of the match. By backing out of a hotspot, you're giving yourself time to allow your teammates to provide backup and also allowing your teammates to spawn on you, which in turn then gives a surprise surge of friendly firepower in their base. The respawn icon is your friend, don't ignore it, because it can really get you out of some tricky situations and really get you on the front foot to counter-attack your enemies. My second tip is know your role and your utilities. Halo Reach is a game that likes to put you into loadouts to tactically establish your role in the match, but just remember that Bungie still place weapons throughout the map and it can give you a distinct upper hand. Think of the elites as a perfect example of this. Their armor abilities are awesome with evade and active camouflage, but if I'm really honest, the plasma repeater and the plasma pistol, just as a combination, they're just hot poo poo. Honestly, I just can't articulate that enough. So knowing where to pick up the needle rifle can make or break your assaults. And remember, things like the needle rifle aren't always the same as the DMR. In my opinion, I think it's a much better weapon at suppressing your enemies from medium to long range. To tack onto this also, assess your team's actions. If you're in a squad, then you can simply communicate, that's fair enough. But more often than not when you're online matchmaking, your teammates won't always be in game chat. So I'd recommend looking at what your team's doing and fitting your tactics around them, especially when it comes to the end of your matches. A great example of this is when you're destroying the spires as elites. The core is on the ground, but your teammates are using energy swords and active camouflage. Fair enough, you can hold them off for up close, but they're also super exposed and you need to counter-attack this by adding some range. Suppressing from afar can make life so difficult for your opponents to press the elites who have their boots firmly stuck on the ground, protecting that core. In short, boots on the mud, needles spitting blood, my friend. Next, be sneaky. Take your damn time, man. It's quite easy to see the timer is ticking. The defending teams are putting their balls on the line to keep you at arm's length. But remember that most maps give multiple routes. Feel free to be a sneaky Sanghelli from time to time, because not only can you catch the enemy by surprise when hitting them from behind, that's kinda wrong, I didn't mean it like that. You're also giving your teammate more quick spawn locations to jump in, like mentioned in the first point. Then, when your moment comes, hit him hard, Spartan. Invasion is totally about tactics. There's strategy outside of just pushing to kill your enemy, so don't panic, just play it cool, man. This is a big one for me because I think personally myself I can get a little bit overzealous at times, but vehicles are very brittle, so be gentle. Sometimes in my head I get into a vehicle and I think, damn, let's rain some terror on the enemy team, but in reality vehicles can get beat up pretty badly. It's not like in Combat Evolved where those things felt nearly indestructible. Especially in later stages too, because the enemies have a lot of tools at their disposal. A common one is the Banshee. It's fast and it can deal some real damage with an EMP blast from a plasma pistol or even with a grenade launcher, because it can send the Banshee just flying groundwards, vulnerable to being hijacked or just straight up destroyed. This can be the same for Ghosts, Falcons or even power vehicles such as the Wraith or Scorpion. So my suggestion is just keep back, enough so you're not always noticeable, but so that you also don't have far to escape if you're being attacked either. Being right in the middle of the action just means that you're hit from absolutely every angle, meaning that it's rest in pieces for you, buddy old guy. Alright, so my last tip for your beautiful faces, and it's know your sandbox. Halo Reach's weapons, vehicles and abilities, they're all very diverse, and everything counters something. Know how to use the previously mentioned EMP blasts, know the efficient ranges of your weapons, and importantly as well, know when to use them. Taking advantage of this can give you that step above. If you get absolutely pounded by a tank, a warthog, a plasma pistol may suck 8 times out of 10, but it will definitely come in handy when the need arises. Every weapon has a time and place, so all I can suggest is just go into something like Forge, have a play around with every weapon. There are plenty of maps out there you can download that just allow you to test out the range of weapons and how they feel. Just get a weapon, use it against a vehicle, see how that vehicle reacts. Get a friend, just see how your friend's shield or body reacts to certain weapon types. My question for you is, what tips and tricks do you have that particularly work in Halo Reach's multiplayer and Invasion in particular? That's all I've got today. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, leave a like, subscribe, and follow your boy Fletch at FletchUH on Twitter, and I will see you next time on the one and the only Ultimate Halo.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.